Now I'm ready. Excuse me.
That's
Ooh.
okay. It's pre-show time. Everything works
Oh,
correctly.
if everything works correctly, this will be a very easy show.
Listen to you. It'll be an easy show.
Man, I will say this much today. So we had Penetration do our. She was kind of like the MC and host of our holiday CMC concert special thing that we were doing,
Right?
and oh my God, she was in top form this
Yeah.
entire the entire weekend. Like just amazing. Like she kept on. Um, she played with the audience. She kept it PG-13. Um,
Ooh, that's a challenge
it was.
for any drag queen.
Yes, and she said that anytime she fucked up, essentially, she didn't say fuck up, but anytime I mess up, I'm gonna give $10 to. We had a local charity that we're raising stuff for, and she was like, "I'll just do that," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And there was a woman in the front row. Her name was Ruth. I don't know who it was. I can't remember. I didn't see who it was. I couldn't see anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "You're gonna keep track of it, Ruth." And she just kept playing to her, like every time, like there would be like something going on, and I mean, she played with us. I'm glad, so glad that our artistic director chose not to tell the chorus to like not laugh and be engaged because
Right.
it would have looked awful if we had. Because
Mm-hmm.
she was killing me. like
Aw.
like it was so funny, so awesome. And to like not have been able to say or do anything, I would have been like, no, that would not have been funny. That would have not have been cute. I would not have been happy for that.
Right.
I was not having that.
Listen to
uh,
you. You were like, nay, nay, none of those shenanigans.
yeah. Like, I mean, we had to pay attention to the director because we're singing music and whatever. Guess we got to look at you, but like, um, there were moments where um, it was hard, like really, really hard to do it because we did 12 Days of Christmas, and the idea behind it was there were going to be two tables, and each one would have like a board or something on it, and Penny was going to run around with each one to go, 12 drummers drumming, blah, blah, blah. And that was hilarious because you got this big ass drag queen.
Mm-hmm.
She's not wearing her like big ass heels, but she's wearing heels,
Mm-hmm.
big hair, you know. I mean, thank God she was wearing pants, but like, running from one end of the table to the next, trying to get all these things up. And I mean, we knew it was going to be a fuck up, like a fuckery. We knew it was going to be messed up. But
Right.
that was sort of the idea behind it. And she played it so well. I had so much difficulty keeping my eye on Steve. I will apologize to him when we get back in session because oh my god.
So the concert was a good one this weekend.
Yes, very good, very good. So those who I'll talk about more about it probably in our "What's Going On" segment. Our "What's Going On" show in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned, kitty girls.
Very true.
Uh, well, on that note, though, I mean we do have another show that we're talking about right now. I should probably.
Excellent. Well, then let's get ready to begin, shall we?
From the most sickening reaches of the Runiverse, I searched among my most legendary children to find queens with the superpowers of charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. To join forces with the super queens that rule the Drag Race Hall of Fame. But remember, my all-stars, with great power comes great responsibility. responsibility.
She's a super queen. COL Drag Race.
Hey, kitty girls, it's Sunday, December 16th, 2018, and welcome to Cubs Out Loud Drag Race T-Time All-Stars Season 4, Episode number 1. It's the premiere, also known as All-Star Super Queen Variety Show.
Yes.
Talk about a mouthful. So, for those of you that may not be aware, my name is Gary, as one of the co-hosts here with Cubs Out Loud, and we do this other offset called Drag Race T-Time. With me is my ever-fabulous co-host.
Hey, everybody. It's Damon. Welcome to the show.
Girl, I already got the fan out. So we are just going to jump straight into this. We got a lot of stuff to get through because it's the beginning of the season. Like I was telling Jeff in our other show, we got a lot of stuff to talk about because no one's gone yet. All the queens are here.
Right now. I mean, someone's gone.
That's true.
Bye.
Nice. All right. Well, let's jump into our first section. All right, so let's talk about entrance looks. Damon.
Oh. So I put down, I was looking for more.
Okay.
And I don't know how to really describe it. While some of the looks were really, really amazing, it wasn't spectacular for me.
Okay.
Like I was wanting something a little different. I'll give my first example of Monet Exchange. Monet Exchange is one of the ones. Like I love the hair, but that was about it. Like the leotard or whatever, that was kind of much. Like we're looking at Naomi right now. I was kind of like, while cute and she has a lot of leg, that's great. I was just wanting more, like that in particular. As we're looking at Monet right now, that was my low point for me. And then Jasmine was my other one, but this one in particular, it was just like I really wanted something bigger. I wanted something better. I wanted something like this is your all-stars coming in. This is you revealing or redoing your failure in the last season, and so I want something bigger. I want something better,
Yeah, no, I can understand. I agree with you. My thoughts were some were original, some not so much. This is a not so much. So Monet Exchange for me, not so much. Well, cute. Not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about Naomi Smalls. I was like, girl, this looks like what I expect to see you on the sidewalk any day. Like,
yeah,
not an all-stars entrance look per se. Now, I think she did a riff on her original entrance. I'm pretty sure she did a purple number that showed off her legs for that one as well. So
in her first entrance, she wore a black leotard kind of, which she was known. I mean, that was her thing. If you remember her season, like a lot of her outfits were like, I'm gonna wear lingerie and a robe, and the robe off and show off my legs. Like that was her big thing. And I get it. You have really great fucking legs, Naomi. Like no doubt about that at all. But I kind of want to see more.
Yeah.
I've seen your legs a lot. A lot. Let's do something else. That was one of the ones that I was kind of like, oh, that's really cute and fun because it's, plastic and it's her.
Well, right. So Trinity explained her entrance look. I was totally taken by this gown because it apparently is a neoprene fabric layer that is full of loops. And then the whole rest of it that looks like fringe is all zip ties that are the exact same color as the fabric. Like,
Oh yeah.
I was like, so then she makes the comment after she enters that she might as well wear plastic since she's made of plastic. And I was like, oh, brand. Somebody got a brand. She knows what her brand is. Like, she's going to say that stuff. So,
Yeah. And I love like the bright color and the red hair. It's a very good combination on her. So good for her. Kudos for her.
Yeah.
Monique Hart was another one that I was kind of like, oh, that's pretty good. Like, I like that. Like, that is.
I was really surprised by this from Monique. Like, it's very busy visually, I think. Like, it's got a lot going on in terms of a fabric print. But I just noticed now in this particular, what we're showing here in the video from YouTube that we're producing is these photos that were taken backstage of them in their entrance looks, which I find interesting because in this one, I just realized there are two crosses, one on the hip and one up on the upper arm. So I bet you there's matching on the other side as well. So it was definitely a religious iconography thing. She's got this heart on her chest. It's very kind of like a Queen of Hearts kind of hairstyle with, you know, all of this embellishments and stuff. So big roses on the shoulders. So yeah, like she was the first queen to walk in, which I found very interesting. Monique is very animated. She's very catchphrasy. She's probably of all the queens, 150, 160, however many now.
Yeah.
She is probably the one queen I would want to kiki and hang out with any day, any time. I think in a very fun way, she cray, like very down to earth, and you know, and not a she's a smart cookie, but she's just so like vivacious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just,
But not vivacious.
well, right. But I mean, she's so full of life and like, and she just has this crazy, quirky kind of like very bright personality. And I'm like, girl, I want to hang out with you anytime. Like we don't even have to go to the bar and get a drink. Like just, you know, we can go to Jack in the Box or, you know, go get some Chipotle or whatever. Like just to hang, I think would be fun. So yeah, I was really happy. I was surprised she was the first queen in. It kind of cracked me up, but yeah, she,
It makes sense. I think it understands. So,
yeah.
And there were a few others. I don't know if we're gonna go through them. We'll go through them all very quickly. That one, stop. So.
Okay. All right. You got something to say about Miss Gia Gunn?
I have something to say about this one.
Okay.
It's just like, you know, like we were talking about the busyness with Monique's outfit. There's a busyness here that doesn't work for me. It's muddled.
Okay.
Like, I don't get it. I don't know what's all going on, and I don't get the boots at all.
Okay.
Like I don't see any blue in your outfit. So I don't know why you have these big ass blue boots on.
Okay.
Like that's my thing for that one, for Gia. Like
I was a little confused by it, only because I was like, are you trying to go as like the ugly sweater during the holiday party, like religious iconography thing? Because we've got the crown of thorns. Like, but we're still gonna hoe it up because we're wearing stiletto boots with pearls and chains hanging. I don't know. Like, it's not ugly. So here's the whole thing. Like, I watched the review, like Toot It Boot It thing, and I don't really feel that this is a negative. I'm just not like excited about it. Like, it's a look. She looks pretty, but that's it.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Choices. Yeah. All right. Pheromone. Some people were not really happy about this. I thought it was okay. It's exactly what I expected from her. Pink bubblegum hair, dripping in rhinestones, tanned body. The comment about her ass was a big surprise to me. I was not prepared for the shade about, I think it was Monique called it Mr. Rogers' butt, which I was like, oh my, how do you even know what Mr. Rogers' butt looks like, girl?
I think they were trying to say like kind of flat or something, or older or wrinkly. I don't quite know what word they were using, what she was using to kind of like make the point. I got it when she said it, and then I was like, oh, But I don't. I mean, she's okay. It's not like, oh my god, amazing, cute butt, kind of thing. But
I will
she's got
say
a butt.
this. I will say this. I don't know what her role is, but I imagine it's quite enjoyable to bounce off of. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I mean, I'm not interested, but it's jiggly. It's jiggly and bouncy. Miss Jasmine Masters, we have something to say.
We do have something to say.
So, here's the thing about this outfit, and this is a really problematic photo because of all the black, like, entertainment industrial cases and all that kind of stuff. So she's wearing black hair with this black base print fabric. I didn't dislike the outfit, but I think I would have preferred better hair, maybe blonde, like something to contrast. I actually probably would have loved a hot pink hair to match the shoes that was done in do you remember Alaska Thunder Funds? Do you know when she wore that pixie cut one, that was like really super short and tiny but was like blonde? That's what I'm thinking. If she had that like pop of color, it doesn't have to be crazy, like it doesn't need to be the Maryland voluminous big wavy thing. I think
this was the one for me, one of the ones for me that I felt like I was expecting, I would have liked something more.
Yeah.
Did you get all that, America? It's just very, couldn't get my words out. That's okay. I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. It just, like you said, it's okay. It's cute.
Yeah.
I get it. It's nice. I like it.
So this is what I'm going to say. This does not speak All Stars to me. This speaks Sunday brunch at Hamburger Mary's. And I am not being shady about that. I am just saying I have been to a Hamburger Mary's for a Sunday brunch. I have had bottomless mimosas and really good food and had some great drag entertainment. This is the type of outfit I would expect because it's fun. It's easy. It's like I don't have zhuzh girl. Like that's okay.
Like this to me is very like, and this is gonna be a read. Basic.
Okay.
Like the hair, the I would have liked, again, take it up a notch, take it up a level. This is All Stars. Like, let's do something fun. While off, not this picture so much, but when she was on camera, when she made her entrance, it made a statement, in a sense. It just didn't make to me like I'm here to win the crown. I'm here to take you all on and make my, snatch the trophy and win the thing.
Right.
This made a very simple statement like, hey, I'm here. How y'all doing?
Yeah.
What's up?
So then we've got Valentina.
Oh, Valentina.
It's Valentina. She's pretty, I just wasn't a fan of this plastic rubber bag balloon, whatever. I don't know what it was. It confused me. I didn't care for the weird, like very rounded cup, like top of the cut thing. And it kind of, I don't know. It looked like a weird deflated black bag whoopee cushiony thing. I didn't get it. I was like, it was so weird because part of me was like, oh, that almost looks like the slick oil latex mermaid thing that Aquaria had last summer, like the substance, but it wasn't. And I'm like, I don't know. It was just, all I kept thinking is there's something not coming together for me about this.
Yeah.
But whatever.
This is another one for me that, while I like it, I think I would have liked something more. Honestly, I would have loved it if she had done something a la her Club Kid Couture that got her kicked off. Like, just had fun with that, done something red and Latinish, kind of thing to kind of make it, play on that.
Right.
And have fun with that. Because that's kind of what you're known for, for most of the audience, audience at this point, you know. Or if you had done something red with like a rose,
Right.
I would have lost my shit because that just you're playing to what people have come to know you for, good or bad,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
it's
don't
a
know.
good look. It looks good on her, and it makes a statement. I just don't. Again, I was expect like I said, I was expecting more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we get to our last two contestants. Dun dun dun. Let's talk very briefly about twist number 1, as I'm calling it. So here's why I'm calling it twist number 1, because when Rue talks to the 8 girls, when the siren goes off and they all get called over, they're like, surely it can't be just the 8 of us. Like, they think there's going to be more. And then she announces that Latrilla is here. And they do this stunt. So Latrice Royale and Manila come in their looks handcuffed, which is what this picture is that I'm showing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love how I think it's Monet Exchange is losing her mind because she's like, oh no, girl, we saw what happened when you put people together in the first season of All Stars. I do not want that happening again. Which I think is kind of funny because I'm like, well, yeah, that would be a really interesting internal monologue to be like, oh no, nay,
No,
not doing teams, like didn't sign up for
Mm-mm.
that. So
Uh-uh.
I liked how the handcuffs easily snapped apart
Yes.
because I thought Rue was gonna walk over with a key and unlock them, and instead they just snapped them apart, which I was like, oh well, that was cute, like how it was a little
Yeah.
setup prop thing.
I like the idea. I like what they did with it. I like that they gave them enough of a like oh shit moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like oh crap, we're gonna have to be in teams again because no one liked the teams.
I don't know anybody who did. I
know,
have
right?
never read online or anything anywhere where someone's like, well, I thought it was actually a pretty... No.
Nope.
Yeah, no. That's a no thing. So, for these two... oh, that's funny. Philip says in the live chat, might have been funny if they had picked the lock. If Latrice had, like, pulled out of her cleavage or,
Yeah.
from underneath her tongue or something and put a key in.
Something. Yeah.
So in our entrance looks, this is Latrice from backstage.
And again, this to me is going back to my I would like more.
Right. The hair is amazing.
Yes.
I ain't got no problem. Like from as they say on from the neck up, we're good.
Boom.
The gown looks like a meet and greet gown. It looks like a photo op gown. Do you know what I mean? Like we've actually met Latrice and had pictures taken, like at an event. Like Latrice is amazing. I love her soul, like as a performer, but
Yeah, this was very meh for me. It's not necessarily, it's just not great. It just looks it looks very basic. It looks like let me just throw something on. Oh, here's something.
Now, the aubergine purple, eggplant color is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with this gown. It's just not quite, I think, what people were setting as an expectation. So, yeah. And then we've got Manila, who decided to spoof on her own, nostalgia brand. So we've got her stripe in her hair, but she took her Big Bird outfit and redid it. And I think it's hysterical that she had put tire tracks over top of it, and she's got skin knees and a Band-Aid, and she's just looking busted, and her makeup's messed up, and
like she just got hurt, like she got ran over on the way there or whatever.
Yeah,
it works really well. I'll make a small confession. I just realized it today as we were starting the show.
That's okay.
I like, oh my God, I get it now. I got it. I didn't see it when I was watching the episode. I saw it now thanks to the picture. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was just one of these things that I thought it looked well,
Agreed.
I think that it, the entrance looks what the entrance looks. They are what they are. There was some shady shit that was said, but that'll probably come up more later. Let's jump into our next section.
Yes.
In the great tradition of Paris is burning, darling, the library is about to be opened. Because reading is what? That's right.
So, right off the bat, very first episode, first mini challenge, it's the reading challenge. I will say I was not ready for this. Not this timing. Like, I was quite surprised. I was like, oh, all right, here we go. Like, just gotta jump right into it. Grab that. So here's the really thing that bugs the shit out of me. It's sponsored by, I think it's LA iWorks. That part doesn't bother me. The pit crew comes out. And someone said, oh, the bulges are real, which I thought was hysterical.
Yeah.
Like, but they're showing all these glasses, and then what they all have to work with is a monocle on a chain that gets dirtier as it gets handed down from queen to queen because they don't know how to hold it correctly, and they're getting their fingerprints on the glass.
Oh my god.
Jasmine Masters holds it backwards to the wrong eye. Like, I mean, I was like, all I kept thinking is, what happened to just sunglasses or whatever? Like, it just, anyways, I was.
Glasses, something, just like put it on. Don't put it like this. Put it like this. Or given the whole super queen kind of theme, maybe make it a mask, whatever. Anyway, they could have done something fun and different with it. Yeah. This whole monocle thing, I agree with you, was just like, who made that? Who's the props mistress that our props master that made that decision, or whoever was the director was, whatever. You know, that made that decision.
So
agreed, they had all those fucking glasses right there.
Right at crotch level, baby. You just could have picked a pair up. Anyways, Damon, what were your thoughts on the reading challenge?
So, man, oh my God, what is up with Gia? That's what I wanted to say. Kind of the thing, like, and I'm not trying to be like shady or bitter or whatever, but like, she wasn't always the nicest queen on her season. She very much had her moments, but so far in the first episode, girl is like stabbing. She ain't like oh I'm reading. No, she's cutting like deep, like going for jugulars up in this thing. They weren't necessarily funny. I don't get why people laugh, but it was just very like, who brought this vicious bitch back on the show?
That's part of what I said, which was a return to mean versus funny. Like, we've had this conversation before when you do the reading challenge. Like, there's funny, and then there's like, girl, you cross a line. Like, and it's funny because all the queens have talked about this. Like, the Rue girls have said, like, when we read each other and we're being shady to each other, we are a family. Like, that's what we do. So, like, the fandom sometimes gets bent out of shape about what one queen says to another queen. True. Like, there's fun and then there's drama. And I have to agree with you that Gia kind of said some stuff. And the one, like, they got, I don't know if it was the correct moment, but they got Valentina's look.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, damn. I was like, yeah, that's really kind of matching to the tone.
It just like, there's a line where like mean and funny are kind of at. And she didn't just like step over the line, she kind of jumped and fell right into like the meanness. Like her reads were not like reads to me. These were like comments I am making about your career is what I am saying. Comments I'm making about you right now. They just didn't land really well, and I don't think that's, you know, part of like, oh, maybe editing or whatever. No, I think seriously, they just were not said properly.
Yeah.
And they were not meant to be like reads. These are meant to be like commentary.
Yeah.
Her commentary, her personal commentary on whoever she was reading at that point in time. I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Sometimes we've had the ones about like, busted teeth and whatever, and girls are fat and da 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 da. And those are kind of like bordering on that meanness factor there. But some of the things Gia said were just insulting almost.
Yeah, and it's funny because like there in the past there's been reading challenges where people have said some people just didn't do well because it's kind of like the comedy challenge, like when they've had to do a stand up or a roast. It's like, girl, there's funny, and then there's like you're not really being funny, you're just being cruel. Like you're just saying mean stuff. Like, it's like you're angry. And that's not like delivering funny. It's delivering attitude. As something completely different. So yeah, I agree with you on the Gia thing. My other thought was Latrice sealed the coffin on Valentina. By far, like the jaw-dropping read of the library is open. She dropped that book so loudly on the floor because it was delivered in 3 parts.
Mm-hmm.
First part, your other face. Like, I mean, like, the first part of it, like, it was just.
Yeah, it was gold. Like it was the. Gosh, honestly, I will say it was one of the best reads I have ever heard on the show. Because it was timed so well. It hit just the right moment. Everyone got it, and then she kind of added that little like hook right at the end and just drag it right across that it was
Right.
so good.
Yeah, like you know that she's a witty girl. Latrice, can banter. She understands how to go back and forth and how to be fun with that. And you could tell that had been crafted. So, and for those that are not aware, typically when they do the reading challenge, they know they're about to do the reading challenge and they take a break and they all have time to work on their puns, their jokes, their whatever. They write them down and kind of, self-rehearse them, like not to everybody, just kind of like working like on a monologue. And then they re-stand in position and shoot the scene. So it's not like these queens are fucking brilliant and think of this shit off the top of their head.
Yeah.
They've cultured it. Like, I loved, was it Monet Exchange's read of Trinity about her being like, she's not going to be in a coffin. She's going to be in the recycling bin.
Yeah.
Because of how much plastic she has. I was like, that's a zinger. That's funny.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And that's it. Like, Trinity got it. She thought it was funny. It's like, and
yeah.
So
Whereas I can't remember what it was either Gia or Farrah. Someone said something along the lines of like to Trinity about her plastic, and it was just like, that's not funny.
Yeah.
Like Monet's was funny.
Right.
Yours was again. This whole like crossing that line or crossing that like being not insensitive. That just sounds shady. I think being rude. Sake of whatever. I mean, I'm assuming obviously they had to write one for everyone, and they probably did them all. But we only got like some of the good ones
and some of the not good ones.
Well, yeah.
For the ballots.
You're always going to get something. We need the ballots.
Yeah. So Latrice won. She got a $2,500 gift card to LA Iworks, which I was like, oh, go girl. Because like, I don't think she wears glasses, like prescription glasses, but I'm sure Latrice would be more than happy to rock some lovely, big, fabulous shades, to go with some looks or when she travels. So yeah, might buy her a pair or two.
Maybe.
In that case, you ready to move on to our next?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so Maxi Challenge. All-Star Spangled Variety Show. It's very patriotic, which doesn't make jack shit sense in December with the All-Stars winter theme for the super drag queen we're searching for. I'm just going to call it out. It's a mess, children. I don't understand. There isn't a consistency in the PR campaign to the theme to the thing, and anyways, I'm like, all right, it's all pastels, but this one's like July 4th or something. Anyways, it was confusing me.
It was weird. It was a weird. I mean, don't get me wrong. Support the troops. Blah blah blah.
Oh, absolutely.
Love that. Absolutely support the veterans, especially the gay veterans and etc. Everyone, LGBT veterans and everything. But I wonder, it makes you wonder when the show was recorded. Maybe it was great then, but putting the show in December, it kind of doesn't play really well. Like maybe if they had done it in November when it was Veterans Day, maybe it started then. I don't know, but it just didn't. The idea behind it didn't land as well. Now who knows? Maybe they didn't think they were going to. Whatever. I don't even know what to think. Like I don't know if they weren't planning on doing the Holoslay thing until later, and then they're like, oh well, we want to go ahead and put them both right after the other. Okay, we'll make it work somehow.
Yeah, I think what my beef is that there's a lack of consistency. So we have a Star Spangled variety show, and the reason why it's Star Spangled is because it is for the veterans as a live audience, which I'm always like, woo, these are always fun because some people kind of bomb, and then they bomb. That's not pleasant. So, and it's a talent show. That's the other thing. Everyone is supposed to be showing off their talents, which there's a lot of shade thrown backstage as the girls are getting ready about what is and is not a talent.
You know what?
Which I found very interesting.
Agreed.
So let's talk about the Maxi Challenge, Damon. What were your thoughts on?
So first thought, props to Monique. Honestly, I loved her routine. So she did her own song, Brown Cow Stunning. She has given her brand. She knows her brand. She knows her name. She knows what she's known for. And that really does help in the grand scheme of things with regards to what she put on there. And as they gave in the, confessional kind of thing, she got eliminated before she was able to sing. So no one knew she could sing. And that kind of really, I think, played into how well she did in this. But also she performed it really well. She did a really great job with it. So props to her. I've got this written down, the 5 Ps, prior. Oh God, I always forget it.
You mean prior planning prevents piss poor performance?
Yeah, that right there. So again, I don't know where people seem to think that you can just phone something in.
Okay.
I don't know where you get that idea where you think, oh, I'll just do this and that'll be fine. Like, no. You, in this thing, you need to know what you're doing and you need to have an idea behind what you're going to be doing.
Right.
And we know a couple of the girls, and there are two. Like, that's one, Monet. I don't know where she got the idea to try to sing that first part live, and sing it up the octave where she couldn't really hit the notes at all. And it got kind of cracky and bad. And, coming from, I watched this over the weekend while I'm, performing, this concert I've been singing in. And it was very much like you didn't think. Like, I can get it sometimes if you don't get the key right. Like, you can fly off into a weird, angle. But I would hope that you would have planned and prepared the song before you sang it.
Right. I agree with you that it's so interesting as a juxtaposition, as a comparison. Monique versus Monet. Monique sang, danced, had a whole routine did an amazing job, I thought. Monet had a song that she sang to live with a vocal track that she lip synced to, flitted around on stage. Comparing the two of them is unfortunate because Monique did really good. Monet did not.
Yeah, he did not.
Yeah.
It just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that girl, but again, like I keep saying that, I'm surprised that Michelle hadn't said it. I need more. This is All Stars. We need more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree that, some people were prepared and other people were not.
Oh, that right there. Just.
Yeah. So I want to say this. When Jasmine Masters walked out, I was immediately riveted because that suit is so great looking visually. Even though I know she kind of got red because some people think it's basic because it's just basically a black, tuxedo, women's suit with a whole bunch of stones on it. I don't give a shit. I hadn't seen it before. So if it's the first time you saw it, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, all right, girl. Like there's the rich look, But they set it up in the show that she was going to do stand-up, and Monique says to her about putting together a skeleton, which I thought was a weird way to say an outline.
I've heard it called that before.
Oh, really?
So I get, and yeah, I think it's called a skeleton for like in the comedy,
Okay.
something like that. Who knows? I could be wrong, but I know I've heard it called that before. It's just sort of like you said, like an outline. It's a guide to kind of get you through where to go, so that you don't mess up.
And she decides that she's just going to riff it and kind of improv it, which is not how it reads on camera. It reads as, I've got 4 jokes. They're very short. I'm going to just stand here and do them and then get the hell off the stage.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say edit, even though it's very controversial to blame the edit, because I'm not taking away anything from Jasmine's performance. I'm just saying, girl, it did not look good on camera. She definitely kind of came across to me like she knew what she was going to do and she did it.
And that was it.
Right.
And it didn't, I don't want to say it didn't land. It never even bothered to like touch down. Like it was still somewhere in the air, like hovering,
right,
waiting for the point to hit. Like it's calling the air traffic controllers, like I'm ready, like what's going on? And Jasmine is like, hold up, hold on.
Right. And this is why my comment on the main challenge was, and that's all I had to say, because some of it was good, some of it was curious, and some of it was a little painful. And this was part of the painful part.
Well, it was one of the painful parts. Yeah.
So, I do want to give some recognition. Latrice Royale, she did a color guard routine. I have seen Latrice live do color guard. It was during the Christmas show a year ago. I talked and raved about it. Like there was fucking confetti and poppers and like not poppers, confetti poppers. It was amazing shit. So I was happy to see that she did color guard. I thought it was a little underwhelming for the variety show.
Yeah.
But if it's one of those, it's so fast moving and energizing. I think if you see it live, you enjoy it a lot more than it looks on film.
I agree. And I think the other part of it, just so you're aware, I think they only had like a minute or 90 seconds or something like that. They weren't doing full out numbers. If what I heard, if I remember hearing in the like, not really the Untucked, but like when after the winners, and everything, they were talking about that. I was like, oh, so that's something. Like I guess they didn't have a full like time, but again, proper planning.
Right.
And it worked.
Right. And Latrice obviously had a plan. I mean, she had a tearaway for a little bit of a, costume reveal, and she had three props.
Mm-hmm.
She had a standard flagpole, and then, or no, just 2. Standard flagpole, and then these flags, which are one, and then pretty quickly she takes them apart and it turns into two, and yeah, it looks really good. So, Valentina did what Valentina does. In my notes I wrote, was Valentina's song her own? And I don't think it was, because it sounded like a man singing, which was more confusing to me than anything. It's like, it's a lip sync, girl. Yeah. Why wouldn't you pick a Latin song that sounds like a woman? Because you look like a very pretty Latin woman. I'm confused. So, yeah. I will say this. I think people were impressed by Valentina because they hadn't seen much of her from her previous season in terms of performance. They always thought of her as like a model look queen, in terms of fashion. So I think some people were taken with her spinning across the stage, and just like doing one after another, after another, after another. Yeah, it's kind of like, but I've seen a lot of queens do it, so it didn't really impress me that much.
So, before we move on, are you getting to it, I think?
Well, I'm just going back through real quick.
Okay.
So Naomi, yeah. It was okay. I was shocked by the wig reveal thing.
Yeah.
The judges panel seemed to like it. I did not, because I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So
it was cute. I kind of got it, but I was like, okay.
That's a choice.
It's a choice.
That's how my feeling on it is. This picture, this still that I grabbed from online isn't of the wig reveal, but I was like, I liked her better with the whole hair versus the half a hair or whatever. I do want to give a shout out to Gia Gunn. I thought her kabuki was amazing. It was very beautiful. I was very nervous for like the first part of it because I realized it's not high energy. It's not like, gymnastics. It's not high drama, but it is an art form. And she had gone to school. I mean, she learned it, how to be a geisha and do this stuff. And I was just like, wow. Like, yeah, I really loved the theatricality with all the pedals, the fan work and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I liked it. This is part of the 5 Ps for me. Trinity definitely had a thing. It was not perfect. I say it wasn't perfect because I too was not a fan of the fact that she spent so long behind the scrim box thing, like out of public view. Like miming what she's doing when in reality she's not. She's already been tucked, long before backstage. So like I appreciated the judges' critique of like, you should have come out sooner or done the reveal sooner a little bit. But very much this to me says pageant. I know that in her season everyone kept talking about her being a pageant queen and that's the expectation, and then she found out she's a comedy queen. To me, this is a beautiful blend of the two, but this is exactly what I expect in talent. A polished production number. It's been rehearsed. It's all presented. It's all there. I thought it looked really well.
I think it was very, it was funny and like you said, this is what we were doing. Like, this is the plan. I know exactly how I'm going to do it. I know what's going to happen. I know how it's going to start. I know how it's going to end. And I liked it. Was it everything I thought it would be? No, but it was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously she couldn't actually fucking tuck, on stage. I mean, that would have. But that would have possibly got her more points if she had done a lighted scrim style with shadow work. Do you know what I mean? Like where there's lights from behind portraying the shadow towards the audience and the judges. And, even if she's already technically pre-tucked, she could have like faked it with some propage or something that might have taken it to another level. But anyways. Big ass penis.
And then David, I know you want to talk about this.
Yes, I do. Okay, so let's talk about this. So if you haven't, well, I mean, I'm hoping you've seen the show if you're watching this by now.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. So Farrah had a burlesque themed routine that she did. The whole idea of the compact was that it's a highlighter compact because she's known for her highlight,
Right.
on her face, and it starts really really well. It's very it's very burlesque and campy and whatever, vampy I guess is the word, and then you can tell what happened. She slipped on a part of her dress that was on the ground, that was on the stage floor, and she fell
Right.
hard.
Right. She like in a classic burlesque number had layers to take off. So she takes off one glove, she takes off the other glove, she takes off the like the stole kind of gown deal, or and lets that fall. And she was kind of haphazardly, in my opinion, throwing stuff left, right, front, center, like, and that's what I think leads to the issue is, then she, her foot steps right on top of that fabric, and that stage is kind of slippery, and you knew somebody was going to take a fall because they, teased it earlier with the cut of, I think it's Monet, putting some Tic Tac stuff on the bottom of a shoe. Like she's got some peel stickum stuff for grit because she says, you don't want to fall down because that's it. Like you get the axe, like that's just the end. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, she gonna fall down. Nope, not her. Farrah's the one.
Yeah,
that takes the spill, and it's hard. I mean, her feet go out so fast underneath her, and she falls horizontally flat on her hip, like hard.
Yeah, it is not a like a simple trip. It's a almost a face plant. It's a side plant.
Yeah,
and I mean, kudos to her for getting back up and finishing the number and trying to make it through. But you could tell she was in pain, and you could tell that she was in pain.
I could tell that she was shook, like was really psychologically messed that she fell during this number and just hadn't predicted it, and like, I mean, it was just so emotionally gut-wrenching to like watch her try to continue the number and be cute in all that about it when she just literally wants to break down and cry, which Farrah has admitted she wears her heart, her emotions very openly, and that's what a lot of people have criticized, that she's the crybaby and she moans and cries all the time. And I was like, yeah, well, this is very unfortunate.
It was, and I just wanted to announce, I think had she not fallen, I think it would have been really well. Like, I'm not trying to be like, not like, oh my God, stunning. Like, I really want to see this over again. But just, I think it would have been a good sort of, this is who she is. And that fall was rather unfortunate. And I feel for her. My heart fell when she fell.
Yeah.
And to kind of add a funny note to it, it has become memed.
Oh, dear.
So very quickly. Like, her, just the look, it's not quite her on the ground, but it's when she fell and her kind of leg is out, one leg is out and one leg is back, and she's like, you can tell that she's falling. It has become like a meme, like she's like in like a Mortal Kombat, like doing one of the kids.
Oh no!
Superhero. She's a Power Ranger. She's part of like Justice League. It was. I saw it on Tumblr. Rest in peace, Tumblr. And I saw it on Tumblr and laughed my ass off because I thought it was funny, but I hadn't seen the episode, so I didn't know it had happened. I didn't know what was going on. So I was just like, "Oh, that's cute. Who is this?" And finally, I got connected it too. But I was like, "Oh, yeah." But it's fun. Oh.
Yeah, poor Pheromone. Yeah. So, the only other thing I want to say is this made me very nervous. So Manila did this art thing. I was not sure what the hell was going on. I was like, I don't get it. And also, understandably, like two of the queens said on the side they can't see what she's painting, so they don't understand what's going on. Now, I will say this. It wasn't until I watched it the second time and then the third time did I pick up on what she was doing. So, first of all, she's literally painting live. Like, so she's got the smock style dress thing on, you know, with the big Bob Ross, like, puffy hair and the beret and stuff. She is literally painting on a canvas. I did not realize that she was painting the vase and the flowers on the table behind her. So you can't see it in this picture, but there is literally a red vase with yellow flowers in it. So when she finishes painting it, spoiler alert, and it's upside down, and then she flips it so it's upright and you can now see what it really is. When she steps around the table behind the canvas to do the costume reveal, the change, I spotted the vase and I was like, "Are you shitting me?" Like she's been painting still life, like, but that part wasn't evident because the table was behind her instead of in front of her, which might have been strategic so that it didn't give away what she was doing. But the only thing about this number was the reveal was awkward to me because it took a second and she didn't have anything to hide behind necessarily. And then she all of a sudden just pops out and she's got in this big, bright, colorful dress. And, you know, I mean,
similar colors to the vase. And
right.
The dress.
Yeah.
All
like,
right.
So it worked, but, you know, it was a little bit of a stretch, so to speak. So, yeah.
It worked, kind of.
Yeah. So overall, I thought that, that folks did well in that case. I think, we pretty much covered everybody. Anything else you wanted to say about the challenge, the maxi challenge?
Good job to Trinity and Monique for making the top two. I think it was very, I think of the two, they did a really good job. Of the show, those were the two. Trinity's, while we were kind of critiquing it, it was campy and fun. Monique just, like I said, she surprised everyone with the fact that one, she can sing, and two, she did a really great job with that number.
Yeah.
I would have liked, I think, if there had been a third top three, like a top three, I think Gia would have been one of the top three. While I've been bitching about her in a little bit, I think her number was so well put together and so well done.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
All right. Let's move on.
The time has come. To lip sync for your legacy. Good luck. And don't fuck it up.
So this was one of the funniest don't fuck it ups in all of the Drag Race seasons because for some reason Rue was in a mood and she just drops her voice. And don't fuck it up. And I was like, wow. I was like, all right then, girl. So I might keep that one for a while. So the lip sync for your legacy. The song is Mariah Carey Emotions. So they dropped a little coin. Because, Miss Mariah Carey got to get paid for this. Damon. I think we both basically have the same thoughts on this.
Okay. Say it with me, children. Keep your
motherfucking wig on.
Oh my God. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? Like, I was giving props to Monique all day. I loved it. I loved what she did. I loved her, her entrance look, and I loved like everything, kind of everything. And I loved her, reads and blah blah blah, and her brown cow stunning song, and the fact that she can sing and no one knows it, and da da da. And then we get into the lip sync for your legacy, and it's Trinity versus Monique, and Monique has, she kept her brown cow, everything on. Trinity has changed into a gown, gloves and all and everything else, And I'm like, okay, well, so I get how they're going to perform it. Monique's going to move. Monique's going to dance.
Right.
Trinity's probably going to like play to the, to the audience in kind of a gown thing, which, okay, that works sometimes.
Right. So you get this opposing kind of viewpoint. One is going to be very theatrical, athletic, gymnastic even. One's going to be very mobile, and the other one's going to do what I love calling a park and bark. Like, just gonna stand there and emote and do this thing, a little bit of moving around. Overall,
You're not gonna...
overall, I think they both did pretty good.
Yeah,
there was
I
only
agree.
there was only 2 things about Miss Monique Hart that I was kind of raising an eyebrow about.
Oh my God! So the big one is I don't know why. Like if I knew why it happened, I might have been okay.
All right,
the wig, like
I think it was planned. I'm just gonna say it. I think the taking the hair off part was planned. Let me explain that. Because when they were backstage and they were talking to the bottom 2, I noticed immediately that Monique's wig line was coming undone. And it was annoying the shit out of me. Because I was like, girl, I realize it's a long-ass day and you've been in the hair a lot. But come on, these cameras are HD. Like, fix your hair. But I noticed that, like, the edges of the lace were starting to come up. And then at one point she was talking... and I noticed that, like, it looked different. Not the hair, but, like, it wasn't a lace line. It was like it had been curled back or something, like curled under, and it made, like, this weird kind of almost like a ribbon edge. I was very confused by what was happening. And then when I saw the number, I went, oh. I was like, I bet you taking the hair off, like, at some point when they were off camera, and was like, you know what, I'm gonna take my hair off during the number because of what the song is. And it's like, all right. But
you shouldn't have.
That's why my comment is wig toss. Have we not talked about this? And Latrice Royale, God bless her. Yeah, she kind of called it out, and Rue did one of the most polite professional scoldings when she said that Trinity won, that perhaps she should take some of Trinity's tape to tape her head to keep her wig on. And I thought, girl, you just got scolded. Like, that's why you did not win the $10,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you took your hair off.
No, you don't know. Like, you glue that fucker on.
Well,
you keep that fucker on
until... As we have been told over the years, nobody takes their hair off unless you've got more hair underneath or something like you are either Sasha Velour. Actually, so here's what happened. If you watch that moment again, I'm pretty sure that's what she was emulating, because when she takes her wig off and she tosses it, I'm pretty sure there was gold glitter confetti underneath it. That kind of sprays. But the problem is she was sideways on the T of the end of the stage. And because she was facing parallel to the judges, in a way it was good, because technically if they saw the glitter, the confetti, they would see it this way instead of coming at them. However, Trinity's part of the problem because she's really close to her to center. And it was just like there was so much visually going on, and it was a lot of hair. It was unexpected that it got caught in the scaffolding of the piping of the fire retardant system or whatever up above.
Yeah, it's probably in the light system. It's probably in the light system. Whatever. Oh my God. Like, again, just keep your motherfucking wig on. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah. The other part that I was not prepared for was the I'm going to portray a woman having an orgasm at the end of the number and put my hand down on my we'll see, and just, kind of have a seizure over the big O that high note is delivering at the end. I was just like, okay, that's a choice. I'm not sure about it, but okay.
Yeah, I have seen Queens perform the song that way, kind of as a play on it, because it's orgasm, it's emotions, Right. It's very high up there. It's like, yeah. I've seen Queens do it that way. I get it. I'm not a personal fan of it, but again, choices.
Yeah. So we didn't quite say this, but Trinity and Monique were the top 2. Farrah and Jasmine were the bottom 2. So we have the lip sync for Your Legacy. Trinity ends up winning, and she chops Jasmine.
And so um, Derek, who sings in the chorus with me, was taking me, driving me to rehearse to the show this weekend, and he had seen the episode yesterday, and he was like, you know, I don't. I told him please don't spoil it because I hadn't seen it yet. I was
Right.
watching some of it, but it's like, I think the person who got kicked off was fair because they weren't prepared, and I cannot agree more after seeing the episode.
Yeah, like I
Why?
mean, here's the thing that bothers me is Farrah being in the bottom two. I don't think she would have been in the bottom two if she hadn't fallen.
Agreed.
And that really kind of bothers me that the fall is being held against her
Mm-hmm.
because in a way it's sort of not her fault. I mean, I'm 50-50 on this, I'll be honest. It is her fault because had she rehearsed the number and thought about where she was putting her props, her attire, basically, and if she had, you know, thought ahead about how she needed to throw everything backstage away from where she's going to be prancing and walking and, you know, getting her zhuzh on, so to speak, then she would have avoided the fall and the rest of the number probably would have been really good. So it bothers me that that in a way, like, she's being held as part of the bottom two because of that fall.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, like, we're back to the whole standard. Like, it's All-Star Season 4, kids. Like, the bar is raised. Like, you have to have your shit together.
Agreed.
And so, therefore, you know, Jasmine was not a surprise that she was in the bottom because she decided to wing it. I mean, they set it up in the show, in the edit, that she just didn't take anybody's advice.
Yeah.
And said, nope, she's just going to do this thing, and that's how it's going to be.
And I think, again, and I'll be honest with you, part of my issue was a lot of the things he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you do what you want to do, blah, 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 blah. Like Monique said when they were, you know, in the back doing their whole, like, chit-chat about, you know, save me kind of thing. She wasn't wanting to be saved. She was like, you make your decision, and I'm okay with that, you know, whichever, whatever. I'm like, then why'd you come back? Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but, like, that's my biggest thing. Like, the whole point of you having that conversation with the people who are about to eliminate you is to potentially save yourself. And I get it, you don't necessarily want to beg, as Monique said, but there's a difference between not begging and not fighting for it.
Right.
And I think it is entirely possible that Jasmine knew what she was. Maybe she knew that it was time for her. Like, she was gonna go. Like, it's entirely possible, but
she seems to have this attitude of indifference. Like, girl, I can take it or leave it. Like, it kind of in a way, like, it's just a gig. Like, I'm getting paid for this. Like, yeah, I'm happy to be back and all that. I mean, it bothers me because I would have liked to see more from Jasmine, but at the same time, I'm like, well, if you're indifferent, and this is what Monique was basically expressing to camera, was if you don't have a hunger, like, you don't have a competitive drive to try to win this, bye, girl. Let me help make the choice for you.
Yeah, agreed. No, I would love to know who Monique picked, but it's just very interesting to me that to me it felt like, I know some of them were very tired of Ferris crying, and I get that again,
right?
But
yeah,
you know, I don't think Ferris should have been in the bottom.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna say this right now. The person I think that should have been in the bottom is Monet.
Okay.
Along with Jasmine, but Monet.
Yeah.
And the only reason, while I love Monet to death, is that the number was lacking, and starting it out with that, you know, awful singing part of it, it just didn't all come together the way I think she wanted it to.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, basically, we got to say goodbye to Ms. Jasmine Masters.
Oh.
1 down, 9 left.
And another episode.
Yeah. You ready for a cooldown?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Ladies and start your engines, and may the best all-star win.
It's time for snaps and eye rolls, ladies and gentlemen. This is our last thoughts as we wrap up. Damon, who do you have snaps for? What was a high point?
So for me, honestly, my snaps were for Latrice's reads. She tore them to pieces. We know why she's on the show. We know why. I would already consider her. I definitely consider her an all-star. This was, and she even said it. She had won on her. She won the reading on her season as well. She knew exactly how to cut just enough to like hit the quick, but not like cause too much pain.
Right.
You know, that was my thing. And so kudos to Latrice for that, because that to me was great.
I will confirm, and my snaps are kind of along those lines. I think that the legends can deliver. I find it very interesting that they're all stars, but there's like this 8-2 thing that happened because Latrilla came back, and there was a lot of talk about how Latrice and Manila are legends. And like, so I find that very interesting. I think the legends delivered. Like, they were very well prepared and like kind of have their head in the game. And yes, technically they have been through an all-star season before, but that was actually the first one, which everybody kind of doesn't like because of how it went. And so this is new to them in this like standalone kind of environment, especially amongst a lot of younger queens who are not wanting them to win. So I think it does make it competitive. But yeah, I think so. For me, the snaps are to the legends, definitely to Latrice for her reads. But I have to say, Manila didn't do too bad overall. You know, she skated a little more to center than standing out, but that might be a strategy. We'll see.
My favorite line from this episode was Naomi to Manila Luzon. She says, "You're my lady bunny," and I was just like, oh my God, that is hilarious. Talking to Manila, so Manila was talking about her coming to New York, and Lady Bunny was kind of her like legendary queen. That I was like, oh my God. And then Naomi comments, "You were my Lady Bunny," meaning like you're the legendary queen that when I came, I think she's New Yorkish or whatever. Like when I came here, that was, you know, the person I was looking forward to kind of like emulating or meeting or whatever. And I was just like, it came across kind of mean, but not really. It wasn't meant to be mean. It was just very cute.
Girl, the shade moment was when Naomi says, they start going back and forth, and Manila says, well, Lady Bunny's old or something like that. And she kind of like makes this comment, and Naomi says, well, you're my Lady Bunny. And Manila kind of snipes back at her, like very fun. And then Naomi says, like those lines on your forehead. And right at that moment, Manila's eyebrows were lifted, and there are 3 clear, definitive lines showing on her forehead in that moment. And I was like, oh, there is not enough Botox in the world, like in this moment to help. I was like, and don't get me wrong, those lines aren't always there. And I'm pretty sure Manila's had some, you know, some stuff done up there, like to desensitize that or whatever. But I was like, damn. I was like, that was just cutthroat.
Yeah. Yep.
So, Damon, who do you have eye rolls for?
Oh my God. Okay, so I pretty much said this earlier. It's Gia's attitude. I'm not liking this. I don't know where she's going. I don't know where it's coming from. Yeah. But I am not having it right now. You know, I was gonna root for her. You know, she was the trans queen. She was coming back. She was coming in as her full true self, and I was all about it. And she, like I said, she's been vicious so far. And with the clip for the next season, the next show episode we're seeing, she's still kind of on that. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on there. Like Gia, as I mentioned, Gia wasn't like this bad. She was kind of shady and whatever in her season, but now that she's back, it's just like, where the fuck is this coming from?
Yeah, I have to agree with you that I think Gia's definitely being a bitch this season.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's a play, like if it's a strategy. Because even Trinity said something about, like, she doesn't remember Gia being like this. And she kind of was the one that I think planted the seed that made me wonder, too. Like, I wonder if she's doing this to get under people's skin. Like,
Well,
or did she come into the season knowing that in the edit, in how the show is composed, you as a person become a character and your character is portrayed a certain way? Like we all talk about infamously when Fifi O'Hara came back and her entrance was, you know, I might as well dress like a villain since I'm made out to be a villain. And then she was portrayed badly as a villain that season. I kind of wonder if Gia's thought ahead about that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, well, all right then. Like, if this is the gig, then I'm going to take the reins, you know, and kind of be in charge of that.
yeah.
As opposed to going the opposite direction, which is to never say anything, never do anything, to really not give them any opportunity to, you know, have a bad cut, so to speak.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm just like right now, I am not your fan.
Yeah.
Gia Gunn. I am not your fan.
For me, my eye rolls are for Jasmine's stand-up. I think it was pretty self-evident. Specifically, it's mostly the stand-up itself. And the reason why is because she was given advice ahead of time. And then later when she was talking to the top two, she was being a little defensive and like, well, I've gone to the Laugh Factory and blah, blah, blah. And when she talked to the judges, she was like, you know, like I took a riff off of like my viral video, and I'm glad Ross Matthews called it out and said, that's the thing. That was authentic and funny because it was in the moment. This is not like this is kind of planned and rehearsed, and they're very different things. Like being witty and doing stand-up are two totally different things.
Agreed.
And I think that's why I'm like, my eye rolls are for her stand-up, because she thought you could take this and put a microphone on and stand on stage in a spotlight, and the same thing would kind of play across, and it doesn't.
And if he had done something kind of like off the cuff, meaning like a read of you know, being on the show like right now or whatever, or something that kind of adds something to it, like, why are these lights so bright and fucking hot? You know, like I'm about to melt into like a puddle of chocolate ice cream or something. You know, like you know, just kind of had fun with that. I might have gotten that.
Right.
Like, okay, haha, you know, we're all here because I mean the veterans are there, like standing there, and I'm sure it's not like pleasant in that room. You know, it's
frigid.
probably hot. Yeah. So, you know, it might have worked. You know, it might have worked in that situation where, as opposed, we got this half-assed, no pun intended, reference to a date that she went on, and the guy had ass breath. Like, I mean,
right.
While funny, haha, the way the joke, quote unquote, was portrayed was not. Right. A joke.
And she really didn't riff on it in a different direction. It was kind of like repeating what she said before. I think if she'd riffed on it in a different direction, and instead of being so like chastising authoritative, I think if she tried to be more suggestive, I think that can be more funny. Like if she went in a different direction and was like if you're gonna eat ass and your breath gonna smell like ass, then put a damn Listerine strip on their asshole first. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know, like take it and kind of maneuver it and be, you know, to a little different thing or something like. But anyways, yeah. So that's where we got to. Any other thoughts you have? Oh, I do want to recognize Philip in the live chat said, to your comment about finding out who Monique picked, like who her lipstick is. Philip said, unless Monique pulls a BB, we will know who she picked next week. So unless she decides to pull a Bibi Zahara Benet out of respect for Bandela. Yeah.
We all knew what happened there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's spill some tea really before we go back into this. So All Star 3, we all know exactly what happened there because we saw BB's lip sync. BB threw that lip sync to Bendela so she could go home. Point blank. Period. There is no. She didn't. She picked one of them because she didn't matter who she picked.
Right.
She just picked one of them because she knew for a fact that she was going to throw it over to BB or to Bendela so that Bendela can go home.
Yeah.
Like I don't call me if you think I'm wrong. like my that's how I feel about it. I feel that the reason that she didn't reveal lipstick because she didn't want one of the two girls to feel bad that she picked them, quote unquote. But the reality is she probably picked, if she could have picked neither one, she probably would have picked neither one.
Right.
She probably had to pick somebody.
Right.
But we all know. Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things about this show, that this version where you lip sync for your legacy and then you win top 2 and then you have to send somebody home. What I find funny about it is the very first show, who were the top 2? Monique Hart and Trinity Taylor. Neither of them gave me the impression that they were going to boo-hoo and go through this horrible emotional journey picking a lipstick. Both of them strike me as competitors, and we're like, this is the name of the game. This is the name of the gig, girl. Like,
yep, I got it. Yep, I know exactly.
Bye, you gotta go. Like, love you,
yeah.
Gotta go. Like,
and I like Trinity's kind of talk about it's an emotional, blah blah blah. I get it. It is sad to send someone home, but we know the game, so we're playing the game.
Right. No, I completely agree with that. So we'll see who she picked next week, unless this becomes a thing where people don't want to reveal their lipsticks. Whatever.
Oh my God, please don't.
I know. All right. So that being said, it's been 2 nights since the show aired because it airs on Fridays, and we're going to try to record on Sunday nights. So, we got a few days before the next episode comes around. So if you would like to get in touch with us, there are many ways to do that. You can go to our blog, which is cubsoutloud.com. You can shoot us an email, cubsoutloud@gmail.com. Or if you'd like to play us a voicemail message, which we could, play on the show, you can call us at 361-COL Talk. That's 361-265-8255. Social media wise, if you would like to follow us online, we've got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Basically, it's all one word, Cubs Out Loud, which is our basic thing. Call now. If you would like to discuss Drag Race specifically here with us, you can go to our Entourage messaging chat system, which is tinyurl.com/telegram- like the little hyphen COLDR, and you can join us in there. So what we've set up in the past is a rule that everybody in there kind of goes on a muted silent lockdown for about 48 hours, which is kind of comical to me because now the way it's set up, if we continue this pattern, the show is going to air. We're going to record the show. And basically when we're done recording, like the muzzle comes off on the chat and people can just kind of discuss the episode.
There you go.
So yeah, if you would like to support us, you can do so. You can get merch, various things from Zazzle.com/CubsOutLoud, in which you can get this lovely Cubs Out Loud, crowned shirt that says Drag Race on the bottom. So you could also become a patron over at patreon.com/CubsOutLoud. That's patreon.com/CubsOutLoud. For as little as $1 a month, you can get access to once every other month. If you join at a certain level, you can actually get more goodies. But we 6 times a year do a special patron show live. We also have some other goodies where you can get stickers, you can get apparel, you can get gift cards to Zazzle and pick your own thing. So we got something coming up this month. Hopefully we're going to have taken care of.
And that could be as little as $1 a month. You can take one of those tips that you would be giving a local drag queen and just put it right in our Patreon G-string, whatever you want to call it.
All right. I just want to clarify for the record, I am fully supportive of tipping your local queens. So I'm not saying that you don't give $1 to a local queen to support us, but
I mean, just give it to the one that you wouldn't have normally supported. That's the one. Like the one that just
Yeah.
came out all busted and didn't know the lyrics to their song and just stood there. That one that you weren't going to tip anyway. Take that dollar and give it to us.
Yeah. Agreed. That's a way to look at it. Also, if you would like to help support Cubs Out Loud online, you can rate us on iTunes. You can also subscribe on Google Play Podcasts. You can, leave a comment. We'd prefer 5 stars or thumbs up, whatever it is, that's the high rating. We'd love that. If you would like to get in touch with us and find us online, Damon, where would they find you? Or how, I guess.
How can you find me? The easiest way would probably be, right now would be Twitter, where I am pup_Umbra. But you can also find me as Theater Cup 79 on some of the Bear sites and also on Facebook, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
That's Theater Cup 79.
Pretty much everywhere that there is a social media presence, just type in Gerber73. That's GARBEAR73. If you want to get in touch with me for that. And that's it for this episode. We're going to exit to the new ending song, which actually isn't a new song, but it happens to be a remix of RuPaul's Born Naked. Have a good one, y'all. Woo! First episode down. My. All right, and that is a wrap.